Hello and welcome back to my fantasy prediction season. My name is Alex as F1 Stuff and this is going to be round 4 in Baku. So if you haven't already seen, there is a maths video about the series of exactly how I work out all the times, all the races, and then how I do all the championships at the very end. I'll link that in a card in the corner of this video now. So as I said in the intro, this will be round 4 in Baku, so let's get straight into it in practice. So as we jump straight to practice 1, we see that nothing happens. There wasn't a practice 1, simply because there wasn't a practice 1 last year due to Russell's drain issue, shall we say, where basically exploded his car. So there was no practice 1 run, so there were no times that I could then create my practice 1 for this season. So we will move straight to practice 2 instead. So practice 2 is led by Verstappen, who gains 3 places from his 2019 position. The two Ferrari drivers are 2nd and 5th, with Leclerc again ahead of Vettel, with the Mercedes pair sandwiched between them in 3rd and 4th, with Bottas heading Hamilton. Sainz is best of the rest in 6th, with Kvyat in 7th. Perez and Norris break into the top 10, with Norris not gaining or losing places on his 2019 position. Albon and Ricciardo are 600ths apart for 11th, with the two Alfa Romeo cars between the two Haas cars, with Magnussen in front of Grosjean and Giovinazzi ahead of Raikkonen. Ocon and Stroll can't match their teammates' pace so far, down in 17th and 18th, with the two Williams cars on the back row of the grid, with Russell failing to set a time. And again, him failing to set a time was due to him not having a time from practice 1 that I could also edit, and he didn't run in practice 2 at all. So we move from practice 2 to practice 3, the one before qualifying. It's the same top 2 as before, but this time Leclerc is ahead of Verstappen by 1/10. Vettel, Bottas and Perez are the only drivers to be within a second of the lead Ferrari, with Ricciardo in 6th, 1.2 seconds off. Kvyat is just in front of Hamilton for 7th by 1/100th of a second, Magnussen in 9th, and the two Alfa Romeo cars are behind him. Stroll and Albon are next, with the latter losing 5 places from his 2019 time. Ocon splits the McLaren pair, with Sainz outperforming his teammate Norris. Grosjean stays 17th like last year, and is in front of the two Williams cars by over a second, who are 18th and 19th, with Gasly having issues down in last place. As we move from the final practice session to qualifying, as always, we start with Q1, which is headed by Verstappen, a massive 6/10ths clear from Bottas, who has Gasly, Perez and Leclerc all within 2/10ths of a second, but they're all comfortably through to Q2. Hamilton, Ricciardo and Sainz all make it through as well, with the two Alfa Romeo cars completing the top 10. Moving further down the field, Vettel just squeezes through into Q2 in 14th, 2/10ths clear of Albon in 15th, who also makes it through. The drivers out in Q1 are Norris, Ocon, Grosjean and the two Williams cars, who are again on the back row of the grid. So Q2 opens with a very familiar top 2. It is Verstappen leading Bottas by 4/10ths of a second. Perez, Gasly and Hamilton all make it through safely. Ricciardo is 6th, with Leclerc in 7th and Raikkonen 8th. Kvyat and Sainz are the last two drivers who make it into the top 10 shootout. Out in Q2 are Vettel, who has missed out on Q3 for the second time this year, Stroll, Giovinazzi, Magnussen and Albon, who lines up 15th. So the final shootout. Can anyone knock Bottas off of his pole position run? No, it's another Bottas pole and another front row start for Verstappen. Hamilton lines up 3rd, with Perez getting his best qualifying result of the year in 4th, ahead of Gasly in the Red Bull. Kvyat gets in front of Ricciardo's Renault for 6th, with Leclerc having a poor Q3 performance down in 8th. Sainz and Raikkonen round off the top 10 for qualifying. As we take a quick look at the starting grid for the Baku Grand Prix, Bottas stays on pole like last year, with Verstappen moving forward 2 places. Perez comes forward 1 and Gasly a whopping 14 places from last year. Kvyat stays put in 6th, with the next 4 drivers all coming forward places from last year. Vettel loses 8, and the bottom half of the grid have all lost places on last year, with Norris losing a mammoth 9. So the race last year saw Mercedes' 4th 1-2 finish in a row on their way to their 6th consecutive title. How will my fantasy race go? Let's find out. It was exactly the same. It's a Mercedes 1-2 finish, but Hamilton gets his first victory of the year from 3rd on the grid. The performance of the race, though, comes from Sainz in 3rd for McLaren, securing their first podium since 2014. Verstappen finishes 4th, 18 seconds off the podium places. Giovinazzi has another great race for Alfa Romeo and comes home 5th. Grosjean is 6th, and the two Racing Points get a double points finish in 7th and 8th, but Perez lost 3 places from where he started, with Kvyat and Raikkonen rounding off the points scorers. Leclerc misses out on scoring points by over half a minute, finishing in front of a close battle between Gasly, Ricciardo and Norris, who all had poor races, especially looking at their teammates. Albon, Magnussen and Russell are the last of the race finishers, with Russell 2 laps down on Hamilton, with 3 randomly chosen non-finishers being Ocon in the Renault, Latifi in the Williams and Vettel in the Ferrari, a no-point scoring race for the Scuderia. So moving from the race to the fastest lap, Leclerc secures this for Ferrari by over 0.2 of a second, but as he did finish P11 and outside of the points, he will not receive the bonus point available to him. As we take a look at the championships after the Baku Grand Prix, so the drivers' gains, Hamilton finally secures his first victory, maintaining his amazing record of winning every race, or one race in the season that he is entered. Giovinazzi doubles his point score with another 5th place, and Sainz more than doubles his point score with his podium finish. Now there was a lot of shuffling about, with Verstappen and Bottas getting in front of Leclerc and the midfield losing and gaining places all over the place. The bottom 4 stay put in last. Moving to the differences now though, Verstappen has a 1-point lead from Bottas, with Leclerc and Hamilton 13 points behind. There's a small gap to Vettel in 5th, 15 points back, with Gasly in 6th. From Sainz in P7 all the way down to Raikkonen in 16th, 18 points just covers those 10 drivers. A very, very close midfield battle, with the Renaults and the Williams failing to score any points after the Baku Grand Prix. So having a quick look at the Constructors, now Mercedes take their first 1-2 finish of the year, but they did miss out on that extra bonus point available to them. The next closest team to their 43-point score was McLaren with only 15 points, with every other team bar Ferrari, Renault and Williams scoring. So like with the drivers, there was a lot of shuffling. Renault and Williams stay put at the bottom, but Mercedes now regain the lead of the championship, with AlphaTauri dropping to 8th. So Mercedes now take a 19-point lead, the largest of the year so far, ahead of Red Bull in 2nd and Ferrari 3rd. McLaren are 51 points back in 4th, with Haas, Racing Point, Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri all within 10 points of their best of the rest spot. Renault need to secure some good points next time out in Spain to get back into the midfield fight. And there we have it, there was my fantasy prediction video for the Baku Grand Prix. If this midfield fight is anything to go by, it is going to be absolutely exceptional all the way through to the end of the year in Abu Dhabi. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that quick little video. I really enjoy making these, and the next one will be out before the next Grand Prix weekend. I'll catch you in the next video.